Well, thank you very much indeed for coming. We're joined today by three experts. We have with us today Juliet from the school nursing team. Welcome, Juliet.
Thank you.
We have Claire from the Signet Catering School meal provider.
Yeah.
And on my left-hand side, we have Lucy from the Leisure and Recreation Department at Powys County Council. So the issue really is, and the question for you all is, so from a wider perspective, what can we do about this issue of healthy lifestyle? How can we help our schools and our parents and our children provide for a better healthy lifestyle for their children, and indeed specifically deal with issues like obesity and overdependence on sugary or high-fat foods, which of course taste nice, and we all understand that there are all these wonderful temptations out there. So if I may then, Juliet, may I start with you, if that's okay? Can you tell us a little bit about what your recommendations might be, please?
Yes, that the UK government a number of years ago decided that they wanted a national childhood measurement programme to be rolled out, where school nurses go into schools and measure the heights and weights of children in reception age, and which is ages 5 and 6, and then year 6, which is 10 and 11-year-olds. So we as school nurses go out, we follow guidelines that the government have set out for us, National Childhood Measurement Programme, and really it's to identify children that do have a weight issue, have an obesity problem, and school nurses obviously are encouraged to rectify any problems, that we identify that if a child is overweight, we contact the parents, and we encourage children to take part in a healthy eating, healthy living scheme. Milton Keynes Council have called it Motivate, which is a 10-week course that the children get offered to go along with parents. So it's a family-based programme to have, I think it's 2 sessions a week with MK Dons, who are the local football team, to encourage exercise for one of the sessions, to do fun and games, so they don't feel like they're being made to do exercise. It's fun activities. And then the other half is healthy nutrition, so encouraging the family as a whole to sit and eat together and cook together and eat well, really.
Yes, yes.
And of course, as nurses, that we are able to hopefully be a go-between from the school and the health service to encourage that sort of healthy lifestyle and healthy eating.
Very interesting. Now, you mentioned healthy eating. It's quite appropriate that sitting right next to you is Claire, who, of course, is a school meal provider.
Yeah.
So, Claire, could you add to what Juliet's already said? I mean, in terms of the work that you might do to help promote this healthy lifestyle, in particular, of course, the nutritional side, the eating.
Well, with Signet Catering, there is a government's food standards policy that we have to make sure there's 14 elements of nutrition that has to go into the menus.
Oh, right.
So we have a software called Saffron, where our nutritionist, along with the menu development team, will input all the recipes into the software to make sure that we have got the correct nutrition. Everyone knows about the fats, salts and sugars, and that we should have certain limits of that. But we have to make sure that we've got zinc in the menu, because zinc's an important mineral for children. So yeah, there's 14 different parts on there that we do.
Thank you. That's really interesting. So this software helps you to plan the meals.
Yes.
Essentially,
yes.
And help children then to consume, as we were hearing earlier from the parents, little tricks of the trade, make sure they're eating all the right things in the ingredients that they're eating.
And also we have to make sure we've got portion controls in there. So again, there's a government guideline for a set portion for a primary age child.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. Now, we're also joined by Lucy Bayliss, and you've travelled all the way down from Powys in Mid Wales to join us today. Can you tell us a little bit about the perspective from your point of view, please?
Well, in Wales, they also observe the food standards and nutrient standards, but it's the responsibility is on the local authorities or the schools themselves to actually make sure that their menus comply. So they have officers which then devise menus and put them into the software. The suppliers have to supply obviously detailed nutritional information, but it's the officers within the councils which compose menus and make sure they're compliant. Throughout Wales, all the primary school menus had to be compliant with these standards last September, and this September all the high schools have to be compliant. But it's a whole, it affects all food and drink which is provided in the schools. It affects the breakfast clubs, the break time meals, the school meals, the after school clubs, and all the drinks provided. And there's a lot of information on the Welsh Assembly government with outlines to do with the food-based standards and suitable drinks, and also salt is not allowed to be put on any tables.